So in this example, we're going to take the other situation where we have an absolute value inequality involving a less than or equal to. Okay, so we're going to be using this situation here. And in this situation, remember that we need to put whatever's in A in between and sandwich it between a negative B and a positive B. So let's extract our information from this text here. We have a food manufacturer makes 32 ounce boxes of pasta. Not every box weighs exactly 32 ounces. The allowable difference between the ideal weight is at most 0.05 ounces. Write and solve an absolute value inequality to find the range of allowable weights. Okay, so 32 is the ideal range, but you're allowed to go above it or below it by 0.05. Okay, so if I write the inequality, we have some value, let me think about this for a second, well, some value 32 minus x equals 0.05. Yeah, I think that's right. So if we have 32 minus some value, that needs to be less than or equal to 0.05. Okay, so let me explain that a little bit. So this is the ideal weight, and this is the actual weight that you measure. So if you have your actual weight and you subtract that from your ideal weight, whatever that value is, whether it's above or below, it needs to be less than 0.05. And the absolute value bar signs will take any negative number and make it a positive number. So that's some pretty cool stuff. Okay, so this is a less than or equal to situation. So we need to take this stuff in the middle, write that down, and then sandwich it between a positive version of this and a negative version of this. Then all we need to do, let me extend it, is you could split this up into two separate equations. So we have negative 0.05 is less than or equal to 32 minus x, and 32 minus x is less than or equal to 0.05. So then we need to solve this. So we need to subtract 32. So that cancels out, and we got minus x is less than or equal to negative 0.05 minus 32. That would be, what's the best way to do this? 0.05 negative minus 32 equals negative 32.05. Okay, then we still have this negative stuck to the x, so we need to divide by negative 1. And remember what happens when you divide by negative 1, the sign flips. So that cancels out, and we have x is equal to 32.05. So that's one of our answers. Now let's figure out the other answer. We have 32 minus x is less than or equal to 0.05. Let's subtract 32. So negative x is less than or equal to, let's get our calculator back out, 0.05 minus 32 equals negative 31.95. Divide by negative 1, that's going to cross the negatives out, and we have x, we got to flip the sign, and then that's going to be 31.95. And there's our second answer. So the allowable weight variations for this boxes of cereal is going to be x is let's see, less than 32.05, but greater than 31.95. Ooh, that's such a pretty answer. Love it. Okay, so we did a lot in that equation. We extracted information from the text to create an equation, and then we used what we knew about a less than or a less than situation of an absolute value, and we took the middle part of this A absolute value stuff, put it in the middle here, then wrote the positive and negative versions of this, and then broke those two up into two separate equations, solved those two separate equations, and then stuck them back together at the end. Yes, we did it. Okay, is that the last example? Yeah, so that's the last example. If you understood all that, congratulations, you're awesome. Now let's take the quiz for this stuff, and then you can test out of section 3.7 and go to section 3.8.